Welcome back, guys, to episode 4 in this series. This will be going over the next 3 perks in the offense category, which are Solid Snowballs, Glass Cannon, and Daredevil. I messed that order up. First one we're using is Daredevil, which increases your damage at low HP, but reduces your damage at 9 hearts or more. Or 9, yeah. This is really good because when you're down at low HP, it gives you an extra heart of damage, but when you're at high HP, it gives you half a heart reduced damage. This means that you just get more damage overall, and it's amazing. It's really good. It's probably my 3rd favorite perk right now because it's really good. It's just free damage, and it allows you to play more risky than I would normally advise. It's a really useful perk. It's just free damage. You can't go wrong with it. Now, Daredevil does have its downsides. Say you're sneaking up on somebody, it doesn't really help you that much because your damage is reduced. So sneak attacks are less effective, but they're still useful, so it doesn't really matter that much. Kind of counterbalances it. In my opinion, I think this is a positive perk. It doesn't hindrance your performance at all, but it helps you a lot, which some perks aren't good at. Some perks are just a burden to have, but this one feels useful, and I can think of a lot of situations I used it in. It was really fun to play with it, but it doesn't give you like so much of an advantage that I think it's overpowered. This is probably the middle ground perk, and I think all the other perks need to be brought up or brought down to around this level. It's probably the best perk in the game as far as balance, and it's really good. It's fun, it's a nice idea, and it doesn't feel forced at all. The Daredevil perk is, as I said, one of my favorite perks, not just because it's balanced, but it's just fun to use. Because even if you're in a situation where you're losing, you get that extra boost at the end of every combat situation, which is really fun because you get a second chance, basically. So it gives you the ability to come back from a bad start in a fight. But it doesn't really help you if you can't hit a shot at all, so yeah. In the clip you see behind you, there was a guy cheering for me. I have no clue why, but I don't know how he was typing so much. I guess he just really hated one of the guys. I thought it was pretty funny, and I just wanted to point it out. And that's the game. Guys just screaming. On to the next perk. Next on the list is Solid Snowballs, which is another average perk. It's really good at the 6 to 10 block range, but anything further than that or shorter than that, it's not as good. So I just stick with your bow or your sword at that point. It's pretty good, but you need a lot of snowballs for it, which is its one downside. If I were to make any changes at all, maybe do like a regenerative snowball thing where you get a snowball every 5 seconds to make it seem, not as underpowered as it is right now, because I have to save my snowballs this entire game, and I really wanted the final kill to be with the snowball, and you'll see when it gets to that point. I'm not going to spoil anything, but it is really hard to get a snowball kill because it only deals half a heart of damage, and you can only hold 16 in a stack, so really got to manage your snowballs at all times and, not overuse them or not underuse them. You can go an entire game without knowing you still have snowballs left, which is always a pain when you could have used it for a situation when you were about to die. One of the best ways to use this is run away, turn around, and shoot them with your snowballs. I normally do this with a bow, but it works a lot better with snowballs because you don't need that charge up time. And you can just constantly spam them, which knocks them back. The only way that this can be beaten is with the Hunker Down perk, I believe. Don't quote me on that, forget it. But other than that perk, I completely forget the name. It is pretty useful. Right now, the Solid Snowball perk is in a really good state right now. It's not too overpowered and it's not too underpowered. If anything, I would say it needs a slight buff, but not much. It's pretty good where it's at right now. maybe they just need to take my suggestion of the replenishing snowball and then it would be great. But right now it's just a fun perk to mess around with. I was thinking about doing a challenge video where like I could only kill people with snowballs. Thought that would have been funny, but it would probably be really difficult. So if you guys really do want to see it, just leave a comment down below and I'll try to make that next week's video or something. Now moving on to the final perk, which is the glass cannon perk. People used to use this perk all the time, and now it's kind of gone out of style. Since they reduced the amount of health that you got from 10 HP to 8 HP, this perk has seen a lot less use. Partially because it wasn't that good to begin with, and it was only good for third-partying people, but now it's even worse because you have less HP. It's not worth the trade-off. I do think they need to buff this because right now it's on the weak side, especially now that you get one shot by fire. Well, not one shot by fire, but if you get hit by fire, you're just dead automatically, unless you have water. Maybe if they reverted their change and gave you extra health and just had it like it was before, maybe even like less, maybe it was a 1.5 damage to the sword as well, but you got like 12 HP, I think that would be a better, change, like 6 hearts and 1.5 damage. It still would be kind of underpowered, but not as much as it is right now. It also gives you a slight help when regenerating because you don't have as much health to regenerate, so it's kind of like a regeneration boost on top of that. But other than those things, this perk's pretty bad right now. It does definitely need a buff. It used to be really popular among like the really good PvPers who were good at comboing, but now with all the downsides to it, it's just not worth it anymore. Now, the game is pretty much over. I don't know how everyone died. It just happened. I think they got caught in a storm or something. I want to thank you guys for watching. This video was a little bit rushed because I have a biking trip going on tomorrow, and I just tried to get it out as soon as possible. I'll try and make the next video a bit more high quality, and see you guys later. Remember to like and subscribe, and hopefully you guys enjoyed. Adios. See you later. Forgot to mention, leave a comment on what you want to see next below. I'm really open to different types of content because these videos have just been quite repetitive and I want to change it up a bit. I'm thinking about doing a challenge video, like maybe third person only, or maybe even do some duos with my friends. Just leave what you want to see down below.